Welcome back to the LogiBear74 YouTube channel. The tier list videos have been doing quite well, so you know what? I'm going to keep making them because I enjoy making them, and apparently you guys enjoy watching them. And so just a quick little shout out. If you guys didn't know, I live stream on Twitch, usually during the week and on Saturdays for sure. Twitch.tv/LogiBear74 would be a huge help if you went and hit follow. Heck, you maybe got a Prime subscription lying around. That would be really great. But this is generally when I record these videos as while I'm streaming. And so if you want to take part in like a live recording, come to the live stream. It's really great. Turn your notifications on, all that good stuff. So today we are going to be ranking all of the mainline Star Wars movies and TV shows. Now, I have not seen all of them. I've seen probably 90% of everything on this list. But as again, there is the never watched category, so stuff's going to go in the never watched category. And so, yeah, that's going to be that. I'm not as knowledgeable on Star Wars as I am, say, like some of the other tier lists that we've done. But anyway, let's get right on into it. Wow, insert cool transition right here. Bam! Okay, everybody, let's get ranking these Star Wars movies and TV shows. A New Hope. See, the problem with like a tier list is you have to like kind of start off strong. And so like A New Hope, I'm going to be honest, it's the weakest for me of the original trilogy. There, I said it. It's amazing and it's good, but it's the weakest of them all. And I just don't know what else to say about that. So I think for me, it's B tier. No, it's A tier. What am I talking about? I just think that it's a little boring. And that's not to say that like that's a bad thing necessarily. It's just it's very slow. And I understand that these movies were meant to like build up into stuff, but this one you don't get a whole lot of payoff in some of the things. And so while it's an incredible movie, I think it's A tier. Empire Strikes Back obviously is S tier. Honestly, probably the best Star Wars movie out there. I say that in all seriousness. Empire Strikes Back, genuinely one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. Like genuinely, Empire Strikes Back. I've said it 3 times. That's how important it is. Not only do you have like some of the most like iconic like lines and everything like that, you got the cool, spoiler alert, Luke, I am your father's in this movie. Like you get some like wicked cool payoff character elements. Like the whole Hoth battle is just insane. It's an incredible movie and like a super solid storyline as well. Return of the Jedi, I think, is A tier, but it's better than A New Hope. I like Return of the Jedi. I understand that Return of the Jedi maybe isn't the most loved amongst critics, so to speak, I guess, but I enjoy this movie. I think the Dagobah scenes are really important for Luke's character development, and I just think that the payoff in the end of seeing Anakin come sort of full circle is like really, really good for me anyway. See, Phantom Menace is a B tier movie. This movie is really good and then it's really bad. Because not only is it so boring off the top, like, and that's not to say that boring is bad. Again, it's just that it is so slow. George Lucas spends more time talking about international trade declarations and all this other council BS that it's like, okay, that's cool. Let's move along with the story, because that stuff doesn't. It's almost ancillary to the main point of the story. And you have the whole metachlorian whatever debacle that happened. And like I said, I'm not a Star Wars lore expert. I understand the basics of trying to explain, like the basics of trying to explain the Force and how these things happen. But I think this maybe wasn't the best way to do it. Now, Qui-Gon Jinn, amazing character, Liam Neeson absolutely slays the role, so you feel better about like that's why it gets B. And pod racing, come on, amazing. Attack of the Clones. This movie is B tier again, only for one reason and one reason only. The battle on Geonosis in the Colosseum is wicked. Okay? The Colosseum Attack of the Clones, like Geonosis thing, is amazing. Okay? It's some of the best like combat in like a Star Wars movie in terms of like a full-scale battle. Because it's one of the few times, if not the only time, you actually get to see like tons of lightsabers and Jedi fighting, which is just super rare. You don't get to see a lot of that. Most of the time it's one or two people, and it's almost like small scale. So to see this on a larger scale was like really, really good. And you got Jango Fett and the whole Camino sequence, which is like really good. The visuals in this movie got a lot better than Phantom Menace, okay? And I'm going to rank Revenge of the Sith S tier. This is the best of all the prequels. Right? Revenge of the Sith is incredible. You are the chosen one! You know, you just get epic. Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen have this like amazing chemistry that they like. You can genuinely tell they like were friends, like brothers. You know, it's like that's just years. That's 10 years of making these movies together, right? Of fostering that, and so that really plays really, really well on screen. You know, I think for the cards that she was dealt, I think Natalie Portman did a pretty good job at being, you know, Padme. I think she did a decent job. I don't think her character is written very well, but that's not like Natalie Portman's fault. That's just the writers sort of not giving her the best dialogue in a lot of ways. And she is like, she tries to drive the plot forward with a lot of the Senate stuff, but it just doesn't come across. And it's again, that's where those movies break down. And I understand George Lucas is trying to tell a galactic level story. I just don't know if it comes across very well. Okay. I don't see the Clone Wars movie on here. Okay. I don't see this Clone Wars movie. If we're going, unless I am dumb and don't see it, because that's what I'd want to rank next. You know what? Let's just go through and do all the stuff that I haven't seen yet. Okay? So, well, this is just a straight up mistake. Nobody should have ever made The Acolyte. It is garbage and terrible. And it's terrible. And that's why there's a whole mistake category. Because this entire thing is just a mistake. I watched one episode and was like, nah, never again. It's garbage. Absolute garbage. Some of the worst things Disney's ever put out. I have not actually seen Book of Boba Fett yet. I will watch it eventually. Same with Bad Batch. Haven't watched it, but I will. Because I really like the idea of the Bad Batch. Rebels, I've seen Rebels, like some of the episodes and some of the key character like arcs, but not enough to rank it. I watched Rebels highlights so that I could keep up with what was going on with some of the sequel stuff. Yeah, it's I can't actually accurately rank it. And somebody in chat, remember I live stream, thought Clone Wars was just a TV show. No, it started as a one-off animated movie, and then with its popularity became a TV show after. And the Clone Wars movie is awesome. It is so fun and just like goofy and very kid-like, but it's like really, it's just super well done. And so, yeah, let's do. I don't see the Clone Wars movie though. I have no idea what this is. I've never seen this, and I have never seen that. I don't know what those are. They look like Disney Plus shorts. Never seen them. Don't know what this is. Never watched it. The Young Jedi looks like something made for toddlers. I'm good. And then I think I've seen, what is this? I've seen some of this, but I haven't, any of the animated stuff I haven't seen. And most of the stuff Disney Plus puts out, I haven't watched. Okay. The rest of this is good enough. Okay. You know what? I'm going to say that can I like you know what? Okay. I'm going to say that the Clone Wars, we're going to call this the TV show. The TV show is S tier. Okay? There are some lulls in it and some things that maybe aren't the greatest, but it's a TV show and they're pumping out that much content. It's really hard to be consistent, but they were. And so Clone Wars TV show is S tier. It is fantastic. I love Anakin training Ahsoka. I love that dynamic of him getting his Padawan and learning how to do that. And I just really appreciate that. And then the Clone Wars movie, just as an ancillary, like as a honorable mention, would go here. It would go in A tier. I like it. It's not a good Star Wars movie, perhaps, but I have a lot of nostalgia to it, and I just enjoy that art style, and it was really cool. And I remember seeing it in theaters, which was awesome. Okay. I'm going to save the sequel trilogy for the end, but let's do the one-offs and stuff. Okay, so Andor, I haven't finished it. Okay, I've started it. And for me, Andor is A tier. I understand what they're trying to do. It's not supposed to be a super action-packed, like, Star Wars-driven story. It's meant to be more different, and I like the more espionage sort of, like, feel to it. It's a little slow, even for me, with that understanding. So that's why it gets A tier, not S tier. So, with that, we're just going to do... Oh, Solo, D tier. I did not like Solo. This movie is bad. I'm sorry. Solo is not a good Star Wars movie. I understand what they were trying to do with it, but it's not mistake level bad, right? Like, it's not Acolyte bad, but it's the bottom of the barrel in terms of, like, enjoyable Star Wars content. Okay. This is where I gotta think here, because Rogue One S tier. Hang on, what am I doing? Rogue One is S tier. This movie is incredible. Rogue One, amazing. It has probably the best battle sequence in all of Star Wars, genuinely. With the whole like beach scene at the end when they're taking on like the radar station or whatever it is, that's awesome. The Force users, I don't remember the names of the Force users who don't use like lightsabers. Those guys are freaking cool and like steal the show whenever they're on. So that's awesome. Okay, The Mandalorian. Okay, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, and then I'll do Mandalorian, and then we'll do the sequel trilogy because I know this is where I'm going to piss some people off. Everybody's been telling me Bad Batch is good. I can see it in chat, which is awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I will. It's one of those things that I will watch. Okay, so Ahsoka. See, I really enjoyed Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka... No, I'm making a switch. I think that Ahsoka is better than Attack of the Clones, the movie. But it's not better than Phantom Menace, because Phantom Menace, even though, like I said, is slow, it has big payoff with Maul and that whole fight scene and just establishing the world. So that's good. I loved Ahsoka. She is my favorite Jedi-type character in all of Star Wars. I just think just her character is insane, and how she's like a gray Jedi, but she's not, and how she has like the white sabers and she's dual wield them, and it's so cool. And it just, you know, her in Rebels is like really good. And so when, like I said, the reason I like couldn't rank Rebels, but I know enough about it, is I watched some of Rebels to keep up to date with Ahsoka so that I knew what was going on, and I really enjoyed the episodes that I did watch. And so, yeah, I think it is better than Attack of the Clones. For sure. The Mandalorian is such a hard one to rank because I'm gonna be honest, I did not like the first season. I said it. Shoot me now in the comments. And again, just because I didn't like it doesn't mean it's bad. Okay, I can recognize that it is a good show. But I'm gonna be honest, when it first dropped, I like waited months to watch it because I was bored. And it's like kind of difficult, you know. But second season I really enjoyed, And truthfully, I loved the last season. I know that people are going to roast me alive for that take. But the reason I loved it is because I don't know a lot about Mandalorians. I don't know anything about the culture. Like I said, I haven't watched, I haven't studied every episode of Clone Wars and done all the reading and played all the old games and read the book. So for me, as I'll say a semi-pro watcher, I guess, so to speak. Like, I'm not a casual because I do know some stuff about the lore, but I'm not like over here where I'm a freaking expert. You know what I mean? I'm somewhere in the middle there. And so for me, I enjoyed seeing Katie Sackhoff take on that role whose name I can't remember right now. Like, I enjoyed seeing her take that role on and doing it quite well, and just seeing that style of combat and everything was awesome. And so for me, this is why it's so hard to rank Mandalorian, because I think it's not C tier. I'm thinking it is better than Ahsoka for sure. Like, it's better than Phantom Menace. This is a tough one. Chad, I'm stuck. Because it is better. I think it goes like that. I think it's top of A. If season 1 was a little more quick paced, for me anyway, I would put it in S tier. But it's not. And I understand why it's not. But doesn't mean I have to like it like that. Okay. Obi-Wan. I loved Obi-Wan. I thought this was a good show. I think it is top of B tier. I did enjoy it less, or it's not top of B tier. I'm sorry. It's bottom of B tier. I liked Obi-Wan. Sue me. I enjoyed it. Okay. Learning more about like the hunting of the Inquisitors and learning more about like that part of the Empire was really, really cool. I enjoyed seeing a young Leia. I thought that child actress did a really good job. And I just think that it was really, really well done. And for that, it goes B tier. And you get a cool fight scene, right, between Anakin and Darth Vader. Obi-Wan and Darth. And that was like really cool. And the visuals for this show are incredible. I love the way they play with like the dark, right? Like, it's a lot of visual storytelling, right? Like when Darth Vader comes, it's dark, right? Because he's bringing that like dark side energy with him. And then like when they fight later, you get the light, like the area brightens up when Obi-Wan fights him later. And I thought that was like really, really cool. The flashbacks with Hayden Christensen are fun, right? Like learning how they duel each other and stuff like that was really fun. It was a little too much at times with like the child stuff. And so that's why I think it's worse than Ahsoka. Now, this is where I'm going to piss some of y'all off. Okay. Force Awakens. Force Awakens is C tier. Maybe B. It's definitely better than Attack of the Clones. Go to the top. What are you doing? Okay. The Force Awakens is just A New Hope. It's the exact same storyline. Literally. Like shot for shot in a lot of ways, it's like almost the same. And with me only putting A New Hope in A, and then you add sort of less good writing to it, it's just not as... Oh, but am I saying it's better? I'm saying it's worse than Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, though. No, it's not better than Phantom Menace. Yeah, I think it goes here. Because it's literally just A New Hope. It's shot for shot very similar in a lot of ways, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I wanted something more original, JJ, okay? So, I'm just going to say that. Fun fact, The Last Jedi is the only actual main Star Wars movie without having a lightsaber battle. Where two lightsabers like actually clash. It is the only one. In the throne room, when Rey and Kylo fight, their lightsabers never clash. This is the only one without that. And that's not the reason I have it so low. it's just a garbage movie. Like, yeah, it's got some cool action in it, but my lord, this movie is long. And like, for what reason? And then you have the whole Poe and or not Finn and I can't remember the girl the pilot lady's name. I can't remember her name all of a sudden, like her character. But like you have that whole odd dynamic that like doesn't need to be in the movie like at all. And it's like, what are we doing with this? It makes no sense. And then the like just Luke burning the Jedi books and just like destroying all of the stuff, and it just why? It makes me so angry. Because I love when directors and things like that take new chances with IP. I love when directors take new chances with IP, whether that's in video games or movies, TV shows, because I don't want to just necessarily watch the same regurgitated formula over and over again. Right? Like, that's why I like Halo 5. Because while the story is really bad, the gameplay makes up for it because it's new and exciting. But this movie, however, it almost goes in mistake category. Almost goes in the mistake category. It is redeemed, but very bad, like very poorly. Yeah, The Last Jedi. Now this is where I'm going to tick some of y'all off. Personally, this is my favorite Star Wars movie. So, you know, I want to put it in S just to like really tick you guys off. But I won't. I won't do that because even in my hardest of hearts, I know it's not nearly as good as those movies. But it is the top of A. I love Rise of Skywalker. Even though the story and everything and the writing is not the greatest, I can admit to that. There's a lot of amazing just fan service and character moments that I like really appreciate. The editing in this movie is really well done. The cuts and the fades and all that stuff is done like really, really well. Because it's almost like this like pacing of like go, slow, go, slow. And that like keeps your attention like as an audience member. So that's like important to recognize. And for that I'm grateful. Seeing this like some of the Rebel ship show up at the end and just like the fan servicey stuff was like really good. I would like to say, however, too, just on the record, I called that Rey was Palpatine's granddaughter. Okay, and all of my like friends and things like that, I called it. I was like, that is what is gonna be. I was like, that's exactly what's gonna happen, and that's what they did. And I was like, I called it. So in my hardest of hearts, I was like, I know what's going on. Which I think is actually a really cool touch. As much as it's done very poorly, I think that it's like really cool. And everybody gets ticked off at the end of the movie when, you know, Daisy Ridley does her final send-off and is like, I'm Rey Skywalker. Well, yeah, you want to be Palpatine? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that's like saying you're Hitler's granddaughter and keeping the same last name. I wouldn't do that. And so what she does is she takes the name of the mentor and the family that has like helped her along the way. You know what I mean? Like her and Leia had some cool moments. You know, they trained together. That was really cool. And just a lot of that, you know, stuff was like really, really cool. And so I actually liked that part of the movie. I wasn't surprised by it. But it was like really, really cool because it just thinking in context of the story, I would not want to be Rey Palpatine. Right? Like that's not, I'm sorry. I don't want to be associated with the Emperor maniac who hunted and killed thousands of Jedi and everything over the course of like a long time. Like, no thanks. I'm good. I'm going to remove myself from that situation. The visuals in this movie are the best of them all. Mind you, it makes sense with, you know, it's 60 years or whatever, not 60 years, it's like 40 years later and technology's come a long way, of course. But yeah, I think Rise of Skywalker is a very good movie. So that is the tier list, everybody. And then remember, just Clone Wars also gets an A tier, like the movie, but it's like at the end of it. Transition again. Well, thank you all for watching this recording of this YouTube video. I hope you liked it. Comment your tier list and what I did right or what I did wrong. And if, like I said, if you want to be in a future recording and everything like that, tune into me live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/LoganBerry74. Please, if you don't want to subscribe or do anything like that to the channel, that's fine. I don't really care. I do this as a passion project. It's just fun. But if you could hit the share button, that's really more what I care about. Like, just share it to one of your friends. You know, it's like, it's that easy. So that would be really, really fun. But there it is. That's my Star Wars tier list. Thanks all for watching.